In Venezuela, President Nicolás Maduro denounced the government of Trinidad and Tobago for its submissiveness to the United States and its staunch support for its crimes in the Caribbean. In Ecuador, the authorities of the National Electoral Council launched overseas voting for the 2025 popular consultation and referendum that will be held on November 16th. Storm Claudia passes through Western Europe, causing heavy rains and flooding in several countries. Hello, welcome to From the South. I'm Sophie Fernandez from the teleSUR studios in Havana, Cuba. We begin with the news. In Venezuela, President Nicolás Maduro denounced the government of Trinidad and Tobago for its submissiveness to the United States and its staunch support for its crimes in the Caribbean. The Venezuelan leader rejected the actions of the government of Port of Spain, which authorized the Trump administration to conduct military exercises off the coast of Venezuela. The head of state described the maneuvers as irresponsible and emphasized that they represent a threat to the peace in the Caribbean. President Maduro expressed his rejection of the imperialist policies of the U.S. government, which seeks to impose a puppet regime in Venezuela in order to steal all its natural resources and undermine peace throughout Latin America.
The government of Trinidad and Tobago has once again announced irresponsible exercises, lending its waters off the coast of the state of Sucre for military exercises intended to be threatening to a republic like Venezuela, which will not be threatened by anyone. They say they will do this from Monday to Thursday. Well, the people of Trinidad and Tobago will see if they continue to endure the use of its waters and its lands to seriously threaten the Caribbean peace. I am only calling, once again, to all the people of the eastern states, from the south of Bolívar, of the Tamacuro, Monagas, Sucre, Anzoátegui, Nueva Esparta, in perfect popular military-policial fusion, to establish a vigil and a permanent march in the streets with the flag of Venezuela held high. The Great Vigil and the Great March of the Flags, I am calling it here from Caracas.
A return to the homeland plan plane arrived in Venezuela with 298 repatriates from the city of Texas in the United States. The arrival of 298 compatriots of Mayagüez International Airport represents flight number 87 of the Great Mission Return to the Homeland, facilitating the safe and humane return of Venezuelan migrants. The number of repatriates include 240 men, 47 women, and 11 children, who were received under strict safety and health protocols. To date, over 15,000 migrants have returned to Venezuela from various locations, including the United States and Mexico. This figure reflects a shift towards voluntary return, seeking to reunite Venezuelan families, one of the Bolivarian government's most humane commitments. Moving to Chile, while the country is getting ready for the presidential elections, let's take a look at the candidate for the governing Unity for Chile coalition, Janet Jara, who is the flag bearer for the 8 left-wing Social Democratic and Progressive parties, as well as the Christian Democrats. Janet Jara was born in 1974 in Santiago de Chile. She was Undersecretary of Social Security during Michelle Bachelet's second term, overseeing key reforms in pensions and Social Security. In March 2022, with the arrival of President Gabriel Boric to power, she was appointed Minister of Labor and Social Security. Among her most notable contributions in the implementation of the 40-hour workweek law, approved in 2023. Her political career has been strongly linked to the defense of social and labor rights. Let's also take a look at José Antonio Cast, who will be candidate for the Republican Party in the upcoming November 16th elections. Cast is a 59-year-old lawyer, representative of the conservative right, who has been presidential candidate in the 2017, 2021, and 2025 elections. He has been a representative for District Number 24 Metropolitan Region from 2014 to 2018, and a representative for District Number 30 Metropolitan Region for 3 consecutive terms. Among his political proposals are greater support for the police, a prison reform that seeks to restore the state control in prisons, a commitment to the North to restore order and protect the borders. Moving now to Honduras, the presidential candidate for the Liberty and Refundation Party, Rixi Moncada, predicted another victory for her party in the elections on November 30th. From the Department of Olancho, the presidential candidate highlighted the government of Xiomara Castro, while emphasizing the need to continue on the path of national refundation in order to continue building a more democratic and socialist state. In turn, Moncada denounced the plans of the Honduran oligarchy to steal the elections in order to reimpose a government that turned Honduras into a narco-state for over 12 years. In this sense, she assured that the Libre Party will continue to defend the election results to guarantee the transparency of the democratic process.
We are on the eve of the general election, and you, just like me, know that there is where we are going to define our destiny for the next 4 years. What is the support we have, and what is our history? Today we are building a new victory on a government with unprecedented results in Honduras, the one of the first woman, of Xiomara Castro, the government of the people's power, the government of the resistance. I know that there are leaders from 3 municipalities here, and I am going to ask to those 3 municipalities, is there work in Olancho in 3.5, in almost 4 years of government? There is social work in Olancho.
And now we have a short break coming up. But first, remember you can join us on TikTok at teleSUR English, where you will find news in different formats, news updates, and more. We'll be right back. Stay with us. Welcome back to From the South. In Ecuador, the authorities of the National Electoral Council launched the overseas voting for the 2025 consultation and referendum. According to data from the National Electoral Council, CNE, more than 470,000 voters are eligible to exercise their right to vote in 99 areas of 38 countries. Ecuadorians residing in Oceania, Europe, and Asia will be the first to vote, followed by those in Latin America, the Caribbean, and Africa. The last to vote will be those residing in the United States, according to Foreign Minister Gabriela Sommerfeld. The Foreign Minister and the Vice President of the CNE emphasized the importance of citizens living abroad participating in the decisions on important issues. Meanwhile, in Mexico, at least 60 police officers were injured after riots caused by far-right extremists in the capital, Zócalo. The self-titled March of Generation Z traveled through the Mexican capital to the vicinity of the National Executive Headquarters, where several participants threw objects, destroyed Public furniture and in some places broke down the secure defense set up by police forces. In this regard, sectors have denounced that the protest, which was called under the pretext of denouncing insecurity, has received funding from national and international ultra-conservative groups. In this sense, political and social youth movements have distanced themselves from the mobilization, asserting that its objective is to destabilize the country. In other news in Haiti, the Association of Volunteers for the Reintegration of Detainees issued an urgent appeal, denouncing the precarious health and living conditions within the penitentiary system. The organization also raised alarm about the lack of legal assistance, pointing out that 85% of inmates remain in pre-trial detention without their cases having been resolved in court. Currently, the prison houses 841 inmates, 30 women, 60 minors, and 795 men. Of this total, only 122 have been tried, which is evidence of a serious backlog in the judicial process. The situation in Haiti's prisons has become critical, with 50 deaths of inmates in just 3 months, reflecting the extreme conditions in which the inmates live. Moving now to Argentina, the Ministry of Health of the province of Buenos Aires reported that the people injured by the explosion in Ezeiza are out of danger. The health authority reported that of the 8 people who were injured, 6 are recovering well and 2 remain in stable condition without complications. Also, clinics and hospitals in Buenos Aires reported 15 people with minor injuries due to the explosion. In addition, the Buenos Aires authority highlighted the coordinated effort between hospitals and emergency systems to provide assistance to those affected by the explosion, which occurred Friday night at the chemical factory in the Ezeiza Industrial Park in Buenos Aires. We have a second short break coming up. Before, we invite you to visit our Facebook page at teleSUR English. There you'll be able to watch our top stories, special live coverage, and much more. Follow our page and activate the notification button to stay up to date on the world's most recent events. Final short break, but we'll be right back with more from the South. Don't go away. In the United Kingdom, Storm Claudia caused devastating floods, leading to the declaration of a state of emergency throughout the southeast of Wales. The emergency services in Monmouth, Wales, launched a massive response following the declaration. For their part, the Fire and Rescue Service reported that teams are working intensively on rescue, evacuation, and assistance efforts for the most affected. Meanwhile, residents are being relocated to safe areas, and authorities describe the situation as devastating, warning that the continuous rise in water levels poses a serious threat to the population and their properties. And while in Britain rescue workers were organizing evacuations, in Portugal, Tropical Storm Claudia caused 3 deaths and more than 20 wounded. The regional director of the Civil Protection Agency, Vítor Paz Pinto, confirmed the impact of strong winds on a camping area in the touristic city of Albufeira. This incident caused the death of an 85-year-old British woman and left 5 people injured. In addition, about 20 people suffered wounds after the collapse of the roof of a restaurant in a nearby spa. The situation keeps alert orange in several regions of Portugal, a country that has already recorded more than 3,300 incidents caused by the storm.
This adverse weather situation, for which we have been urging people to take self-protection measures according to IPMA, will persist until the end of the second day, and then gradually the situation will improve.
The Yemeni government condemned the sanctions against the country after expressing its support for the Palestinian people in the Gaza Strip. Mohamed Al-Farah, member of the political bureau of Ansar Allah movement, affirmed that his country will respond with retaliation to any attempts to undermine its sovereignty, as the Yemeni people will not hesitate to defend their rights, religion, and dignity by all legitimate means. The official also denounced that the Palestinian enclave is being subjected to systematic annihilation financed by the U.S. government. Al-Fahra denounced the Security Council as a platform for Western interests, where human rights are defined according to the West and Washington's interests. Meanwhile, the Israeli army continues to bomb the Gaza Strip while launching illegal raids in the occupied West Bank. Palestinian authorities reported that Israeli forces continue to bombard the Palestinian enclave in violation of the ceasefire in effect since October 10, 2025. They also reported that Israel has killed more than 260 civilians, left 632 injured, and more than 500 people remain buried under the rubble after the attacks. In addition, the authorities condemned the increase in attacks, assaults, and arrests against Palestinians. In other news, thousands of people marched in Skopje, the capital of North Macedonia, to demand justice for the 63 victims who died in a nightclub fire in March. This demonstration took place prior to the trial of the 34 individuals and 3 companies accused of the incident classified as the deadliest fire in the country's history. The disaster took place on March 16th at the Pulse Club in the eastern city of Koshani, where a concert ended in the deaths of 63 people and left about 200 injured. The prosecutor's office filed charges against the 34 defendants, including the owner of the establishment, security guards, representatives of the security company, and the company that owns the club. Mexico City hosts the Drama Fest 2025, a festival dedicated to contemporary drama that promotes national and international theatrical creation. The festival features Poland as the guest of honor and Nuevo León as the host state. Venues include the Benito Juárez Theater, the Esperanza Irish City Theater, and other cultural spaces, where performances, dramatized readings, and free workshops are offered. The festival will run until December 7th in the capital and from December 8th to 14th in Monterrey. So this is a unique opportunity for attendees to explore contemporary theater. In other news, from November 14th to 21st, Italy hosts the 9th Ocean Film Festival World Tour, a film festival dedicated to the marine world. Italian cinemas will be flooded with the films about the marine ecosystem. The festival will be held in over 20 cities across the country, with its main venues in Naples. A series that includes a range of national and international short and feature films, inviting all viewers to the life in the uncharted waters. This year, the selection of films stands out for its visual quality, narrative strength, and thematic diversity, with the aim of appreciating the oceans as a vital space for multidisciplinary and development and recognizing them as a habitat of incalculable beauty and diversity. And like this, we have come to the end of this news brief. You can find this and many other stories on our website at telesurenglish.net and join us on social media. We're on Facebook, X, Instagram, Telegram, and TikTok. For TeleSUR English, I'm Sophie Fernandez. Thank you for watching.